Microsoft added many new features with the release of the 2020 sim. Some of these features never really lived up to the hype and were left to third-party developers to provide and pick up the pieces. There is a demand for these features for the sim since third-party developers can make a business case from them. In this video, we're going to take a look at the features that Microsoft Flight Simulator need to get right when it comes to the 2024 sim. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was announced mid-year in 2023 and it is planned to be released sometime this year in 2024. It is the successor from its 2020 counterpart that has been a staple platform for these new generation flight sims. Flight Sim 2020 seemed to have it all. There was many features that were announced that simmers had been seeking to be part of a default sim for many years now. Many of these features never lived up to the hype and seemed to lack the depth, polish and performance to make these wow features and enhance the sim's immersion. The Microsoft team with this new sim have got a second chance to get some of these features the way they needed to be from the release in the current sim platform. So we're going to take a look at some of these important ones that really the community has been looking forward to, that perhaps been let down a bit by the Microsoft team. Kicking off with the first feature is the replay tool. The replay function has been in Flight Sim since day one and was dating back since the first version of Flight Sim, except Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 upon the sim's release did not have a replay function and it wasn't introduced into the sim until later with a sim update, and it never really found its way to a full release. The Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 replay tool had always been in beta, and that being said, the sim always needed to be in a development mode for the replay tool to be active. The functions till this day really never made its way to the Xbox due to the console's performance not being able to handle a replay function in its current state. The UI and the functionality of the replay tool is extremely clunky and not easy to use, and sometimes just doesn't even work. This has led to many third-party developers on the PC side offering many replay payware and freeware options such as Flight Record, Sky Dolly, and Flight Control Replay, just to mention a few. The replay tool, like many other features on the community wishlist that seemed to be placed on hold due to there was some whispers that a new sim was being developed, really shows there is definitely a pent-up demand when it comes to a replay tool, and that the Microsoft team have a second chance to get this right with the 2024 sim. Animals were featured in the teaser trailer for Flight Sim 2020 and it did make the base sim on launch, but that being said, we haven't seen much improvement on the development when it comes to animals in the sim. There is currently only a limited number of animals that are very spread out over the sim across the globe. Even Jorg, the CEO of Flight Sim, mentioned they really didn't tap into the potential of the current animals in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. SoFly is a third-party developer that has explored this pent-up demand when it comes to animals. Their recent release of the add-on adds 15 new species of animals with 5,000 hand-placed animals across 280 locations around the virtual globe. All the animals have their own soundscapes and are animated, and this just shows the potential of animals in the sim. That being said, the Microsoft team have mentioned that they will be giving animals a bit of a revamp in the new sim. But if you can't wait for the release of the 2024 sim, I'll leave links in the description below of any mentioned third-party products. If you are enjoying the video, bosh that like button and please consider subscribing. We publish devoted Microsoft Flight Simulator development videos each and every week, and we are passionate about bringing you the best updated videos on the channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers and we'd love to have you on board before we hit that milestone. Thank you very much for your support. One of the Microsoft Flight Simulator team's goal is to make the sim accessible to as many people as possible. They have done this very well for the most part, with the sim being available with multiple platforms and many accessibility settings such as with screen narration and many different options with the user interface. Many newcomers and aviation enthusiasts from all parts of the globe have access to the flight sim, but may face a big learning curve to even understand the basics of flying and the fundamentals. Microsoft does provide flight training in basic handling, takeoff and landing, VFR navigation and IFR. All of these are great but provide only a basic depth of flight, and being a real life pilot like myself, it doesn't really explain the fundamentals of some of the basic aeronautical knowledge needed for real life flying, and it's a simulator after all. I've seen this as a talking point over the community over the last few years, and who would like to see a more in-depth and better walkthroughs when it comes to flight training than what we have in the sim now. That being said, when it comes to third parties, the team over at FS Academy mission packs have really shown the level of depth of what is possible with Microsoft Flight Simulator. They've created a bunch of detailed training packs that have been created by real-world pilots. Each pack includes in-depth explanation on what you're doing, why you're doing it, ranging from principles of flight, a lift and drag, visual reference points, VFR charts and the maps, circuit procedures, go around VFR flight rules, failure management, and these are just some of the training ones in the pack, which are all accompanied by a 70-page ground support document. Highly recommend taking a look at FS Academy missions packs if you want to improve your flight sim game. I hope Microsoft Flight Simulator takes a look at what FS Academy has done when it comes to the training side for many flight simmers that are self-taught and have learnt from other simmers of how to fly incorrect procedures or basically just pick up bad habits. And I really hope we see more detailed training missions on the base sim when it comes to the 2024 release. A big thank you to ProDevSims for sponsoring this YouTube video. Their products enhance your current flight simulator hardware by turning your flight controls into something closer to the real thing. The team makes different add-ons for flight controls such as Honeycomb, SciTech and Velocity over a variety of different aircraft, including Boeing, BAE, Cessna Citation, VisionJet, TBM, just to mention a few. The current add-on I'm using at the moment is the ProDevSims new dual action Boeing 737 add-on for the Honeycomb Bravo, which features a detent flap and speed brakes. This really improves the immersion and realism of my flights. For Oz Flight Sim viewers, you can use this code AUSFS on checkout for a 15% discount on all ProDevSim products. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can check out their page, and a big thank you to our friends over at ProDevSims for sponsoring this video. Seasons has been a real miss in the current sim. After 3.5 years, we don't have seasons implemented into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, where on other sims, seasons is part of the base sim. Seasons were scheduled for a later sim update, but was stalled like many other feature updates when the Microsoft team realized the current sim did not have the infrastructure to support the level of detail they wanted when it comes to seasons. 3D trees plays a big role with this, and the Microsoft team have confirmed full seasons will be released in 2024 on the base sim, and 3D trees will be a part of it, which will provide a great increase in diversity. We have even seen some of the teaser footage of the sim with seasons so far, which confirms we'll see it with the release of the 2024 sim on day 1. I really hope that seasons will include a lower and higher vegetation density as well as terrain coloring, as we have seen this incorporated already in other third-party developers with seasons add-ons currently. Rex Simulations is one of those third-party providers which have been developing their AccuSeason utility, which adds seasons to the sim with a vast variety of foliage and terrain coloring which matches weather scenarios. Rex AccuSeason changes the seasons in the sim on a weekly basis globally throughout the whole year. Again, third-party developers have been paving the road when it comes to high immersion of the current sim. Let's hope the Microsoft Flight Simulator team can adapt and work on what's currently out in the market and implement it into the base sim. Our last feature that Microsoft Flight Simulator team need to get right with the new 2024 sim is ground services, which were included in the 2020 sim and was accessible through the ATC menu with basic functions such as services trucks and fuel trucks. In most instances, the current ground service didn't really work, and it feels like this feature looked good on a video trailer, but really wasn't showing its immersive qualities, even though the current sim can do a lot more. The team over at FSDG with their GSX Pro add-on would have to be one of the most popular third-party add-ons in the current sim. GSX improves their ground services immensely and really adds immersion to the sim with things such as pushback, catering, refueling, baggage loading and marshalling, visible animated passengers, cargo loading, follow me cars, and there's a lot more than what I've just mentioned there. GSX greatly improves the immersion of the sim when it comes to operating on the airport side of the sim, and really shows the capability of what's possible when it comes to ground services in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There is over 500 people working on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which is a greatly increase from the 2020 sim. So the sky's the limit, and hopefully we will see some improvements with some of these features that have been mentioned in this video. The third-party developers and products that have been mentioned in this video are merely benchmarks of these areas that have been able to showcase what is possible with the sim. I'll leave a link in the description of these products that were mentioned, and please let us know in the comments below what features you would like to see the Microsoft team get it right with the new sim, and if there's any add-ons that currently due to some degree that is available. Bash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with all our Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 development news and videos, and we will see you on another video sometime very soon. Thank you very much for your support.